Hello, welcome to another Gundam Operation 2 video, and that is the new suit, the Guncannon Aqua TB. And yep, that's another Thunderbolt suit, and actually, I can't remember the last time we had a amphibious support. Man, it's been a while. I think the only two we have is like the Zoc and Juago, so yeah, that's another one. And yeah, just before we start everything here, this suit is significantly better than the last Thunderbolt suit, which was the Jim Kai ground type CBT, because that's what it felt like playing that suit. So I'm glad this one was not as bad as that suit. Now there's some people that think that this suit is like, this suit's kind of right, but we'll go over it in this video. And while we do that, we do have two matches here for. Oh, I have two matches here for you. Yeah, my schizophrenic voices in my head. Yeah, they also want to give you these two matches. That's why we said we. But these two matches here for you. They're going to be on the same map, which is the new map called Drop Area. I guess the devs really wanted to not give me a suit with water on it. You know, they saw my my Aqua GPO1 video. They said, hey, you know what? Let's do it again. So we don't have that again. So it's probably going to take me another couple of days to finally play a amphibious map, or I guess a water map. But yeah, we have a new suit here. So now we're going to go over the stats. This is actually a low-cost suit. It's a 350 support. So this thing has, it has 14,000 health with 15 ballistic and 11 beam resistance. You have 10 melee resistance, 25 range strength, 10 melee strength, 115 movement speed with 165 boost speed. You have 60 thruster gauge and, I'm a little bit gassy today, 57 turning speed. And for slots, you have 5 close, 10 mid, and 9 long range slots. Now, first thing that jumps out to me is this thing doesn't have too much in terms of health and resistances. You have 14,000, maybe 14,000 is typical for suits of this cost. I don't remember exactly. But 10 melee resistance and 11 beam resistance is pretty low. You know, especially with, obviously the melee, you know, because you're a support and, you know, raids are melee, so that's why you have lower melee resistances, but 11 beam resistances, you know. Typically, beams aren't too much around at 350, from what I remember. I know the Aqua Gundam, and there's a few other suits that do use beams, a few raids as well, but they're not as common as they will be in the next coming costs, right? So, you know, this thing does have high, or I guess decent ballistic resistances, right? So there's that. And for the two, I actually had two builds playing the matches I did with this suit. The first build I actually used in the matches before these two, and I did like a general buff where I just kind of, okay, I'm going to buff up my beam resistance, my melee resistance, to give myself a little bit more melee strength. Have everything around 20, right? And it worked fine enough, right? The second build I did, I actually took it from another GBO YouTuber. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. If I remember who it was, I will leave a link in the description to his channel. He is a S rank player. He does other stuff. I guess you say he gives a little bit of advice on how he thinks, you know, a suit should be played. I looked at how he's playing this suit, and he had a build idea where he had all reload and range parts. Maybe it was just all reload parts for him, but yeah, I took that, and yeah, that's what I've been using these two matches, and I'm gonna be honest, it works pretty damn well. Basically, if I get into a situation and use the weapon I want to use, that weapon will be ready up again by the next time I run into another person. It's really, really handy, and you'll know which you'll know which weapon I'm talking about when we get to it. Now, for the weapons though, starting off here, we'll go into the, oh, by the way, I should also mention I used, I actually built my suit up. I enhanced my suit to have a complex expansion part to fit more parts on it for that range and reload part build. But yeah, now we're on to the actual weapons here. Starting off, you have the G Aqua NGTB. Sounds like I'm in Sesame Street now with all these damn letters around. It's 250 damage per shot with 12 rounds, 350 range. And yeah, this is basically, it feels like the way it shoots the same as the Aqua Gundams. However, I believe that actually the base damage on the Aqua Gundam is actually higher than this suit, which is kind of embarrassing, but it basically fires in burst rounds, just like with the Aqua Gundam. It fires in bursts of 3, but it does take 6 rounds to stun, so it doesn't have a high amount of stun accumulation. And honestly, it's not a It's not a weapon I use too much in terms of like straight up engaging somebody with. Unless I have a team with me, then I'll probably use it. I use his. I use the one of the secondary weapons, which we'll get into momentarily. But yeah, it's fine for what it is. Like, I actually know it's not even that fine. It has low damage and lower melee. Goddamn melee resistance. What the fuck am I trying to say here? Lower stun accumulation. There we go. So I do wish. If this suit needed to get buff, I do think this weapon here needs a little bit more damage and at least more stun accumulation. At least that, because 6 is a lot for this kind of burst fire weapon, right? That does like almost no damage. So I do wish that was better. And yeah, now we're on to. Oh, I should also mention that because to kind of spoiler one of your skills later on, you have aquatic mobile shooting. If you're using this while boosting underwater, it will stun in 4 hits instead of 6, because your stun accumulation will go up. So it's better, I guess. But now we're on to your primary melee weapon. You have the G Aqua Beam Saber TEB, which is 1,800 damage. This thing actually has a poking neutral swing. However, the neutral swing does not have much verticality. So if somebody's on the ground, on flat ground, you might miss them depending on the size of the suit. If it's a gym, you're probably gonna miss it. If it's a Dom or a Gelgoog, hey, you might hit it, So yeah, keep that in mind when you're trying to do a poke with neutral swing. So just make sure that if you want to go for that, the ground is elevated for you. The downswing actually looks very familiar to the the good old Federation downswing that a lot of people are familiar with in this game. Where but it's a little bit different. Where instead of doing a sweeping diagonal slash, the Guncannon does a more vertical diagonal slash. Probably to prevent it from hitting 5 other teammates, doing the regular Federation downswing, so appreciate that. Now, it makes it a lot easier to hit enemies, and I say hit enemies around teammates, there we go. And actually, the melee does do a lot of damage on this suit. The modifiers, I want to say it's like really high, but it's good enough to where you can get a good chunk of damage off when you go for a melee. So yeah, pretty nice. The only thing is you don't have balancers, which is unfortunate, which I'll go into that when we get to the pros and cons for this suit. But yeah, now we're on to the secondary weapons. You have, starting off, the Vulcan gun, which is 90 damage, 30 rounds, and 175 range. These are basically just regular-ass Vulcans. They do a lot of damage, so keep that in mind when you're using them. They have pretty much next to no stun accumulation. I'm pretty sure they do, because whenever you dump a full clip into somebody and use your primary weapon, instead of stunning in 6 hits, you'll stun in 5 hits, so I guess that's better, but, hey, you can stun in 5 hits now, but obviously that's not good, so there's no stun accumulation on the Vulcans, pretty much, so if you're going to use it, try and get a stun, don't. It's really good for finishing off low health enemies, which is what I think I actually did that at quite a few times in these 2 matches, at least once or twice, to finish off low health enemies. Really good against generals, and of course you can use the Vulcans to take out pilots that are trying to capture a point or bomb a base. So there's that. So they still work. They're still functional as a weapon instead of just some other suits that have like really weak ass Vulcans and still have 30 shots with slow fire rate. They're almost like useless, right? So this is actually better than that. So I do appreciate that, especially that damage output it can do with it. Not a fast firing rate though. But hey, real quick, into the first match here, and we'll see how we did. And I actually kind of appreciated that the enemy raid was on my ass the entire time, because I did do really good this match. And you'll see, top individual score, top assist, top damage, 75,000. The raid actually praised me. I forgot to praise him. Actually praised my generals for stuff that happened in the match. And hey, second place, 6-4. So yeah, I'm glad the raid was coming after me. He was doing his job, right? Now we're on to the second match, and we'll see how we do there. Now we're on to the second secondary weapon, which is the fucking, Jesus Christ, these names. The G Aqua NG Discharge TB, which I'm just going to call it the shotgun for short, even though it doesn't shoot pellets, it shoots harpoons. But yeah, that is 200 damage, 6 rounds, 250 range. This works pretty much like a shotgun, except the projectiles are slower. It's not, almost instantaneous like with the regular shotguns in this game. Like I said, you fire harpoons. You actually fire all 6 at the same time. Now, this is actually a really great weapon. Not only do you fire 6 rounds, each individual harpoon will net you a stun. So if you just hit somebody, just with the side of just one harpoon, they'll get stunned. You can follow up with whatever you want. Even better is that each individual harpoon has a small blast radius, which I think I forgot to mention in the primary weapon that you have, the G Aqua NGTB. Fuck, I hate these names. That will those actually have a small blast radius as well. I think that's the same for the Aqua Gundam. I can't remember for its harpoon gun, but yeah, for the shotgun here, not only does each individual harpoon stun, but they have a blast radius, and the blast radius will give you a stun too. And if you guys saw my testing video, you can see that I was using the blast radius there to try and test how far it will go. It's small, but it's still there, so you can potentially just shoot at somebody's feet and you get a stun, right? So pretty nice. And not only that, it has 250 range. You can use this at mid-range, which is pretty awesome. You can use that to combo from a distance. So and I think you actually do get a chance to see me do that a few times this match, maybe at least once. So yeah, this weapon is really damn good. And you combine that with having a really fast reload. Now, I said I added reload parts to this, and unfortunately I can't remember the exact reload speed on this, so I'm going to go off my build that I have. So I believe my build was 6.5 seconds, and essentially, for the combos I'm doing this game, I would use the shotgun, then downswing somebody, and by the time they get back up, my shotgun is nearly ready to go. So this is a really wonderful weapon. Honestly, should have been the primary for this suit, but I guess they didn't want it to... I can kind of see why, with having aquatic mobile shooting, why this isn't the starting weapon. Imagine having a boosting shotgun stun that has an explosion radius on it. Yeah, it'd be kind of gross, right? But yeah, you know, honestly, supports need something gross. But but yeah, pretty good weapon. Next weapon here, your final secondary weapon, you have the 3-barrel torpedo ×2, which is 225 damage with 12 rounds and excuse me, 400 range. Excuse me again. The 3-barrel torpedo ×2, instead of shooting one missile at a time, it actually shoots a pair of missiles. So you won't be doing like you'll be doing more damage than what it says. 200 damage per shot, right? And if you guys are paying attention to the match, I actually have been shooting for almost, I think, a little over 1,000 damage on most of the generals I've been fighting, which are nearly 1,000 damage, which is pretty damn gross when you combo. Like I said, you comboing with the... If you do the shotgun into the downswing, this is a really fast ready-up weapon. You just blow their fucking body apart with this weapon. Really good for comboing with other generals if of course they don't stun by themselves. So you can throw it out while your generals are in the middle of downswinging somebody, and you add extra damage, right? And of course, like I said, you can just do that combo I was talking about earlier, where just downswing, shotgun, downswing this weapon. Pretty gross output, or I guess just a really gross burst output, right? But yeah, and of course 400 range, so you can kind of throw it out in the distance. You'll see near the end of the second match here that I'll be using the primary weapon and the torpedo weapon on top of the hill down on the enemies. And yeah, you can build up a lot of great damage that way. If I usually that's like the one moment I can think of where I was actually trying to attack from long range, right? For I believe both these matches, I was kind of doing some front lining, which yeah, we'll go into the pros and cons. Well, actually, it's not going to go in hand because I'm going to start off with the cons first, even though it sounded like I was going for a pro. But yeah, starting off for the negatives here. First of all, just typical support stuff. You don't have a dodge roll, you don't have maneuver armor. So if somebody stuns you, they're probably gonna melee you if that's what they're looking to do. This thing doesn't have a whole lot of resistances, which goes into the second con here. A little bit I wouldn't say no, but little resistances and little health as well. So if let's say an Aqua Gundam, a lot of melee strength there, pretty good damaging weapons. Goes for that heavy stagger, downswing combo. Yeah, you'll still be taking a good chunk of damage. And if it's a raid, if the raid wants you dead, he'll probably kill you if your generals aren't in tip-top shape, right? You can, do some moments where you can kind of surprise the raid, right? But another downside for this suit is that you have pretty little stun accumulation, like pretty little. Yeah, pretty very sucky stun accumulation weapons here. I forgot to mention for the 3-barrel torpedo ×2 is that it takes, I believe, nearly all the missiles to get a stun by if you're gonna use it by itself. So obviously, you know, not the best weapon to use because you have to stand still to use them. But yeah, that just lets you guys know that ahead of time. But yeah, the primary weapon takes 6 shots to stun. The Vulcans don't even stun at all. And they hardly stun when you combine it with other weapons. The 3-barrel torpedo does not stun. It takes majority of the shots to stun. So if you're fighting a suit with maneuver armor, and God forbid if they have damage control, you're not going to be doing too much there. And I think the only thing you have that's a really good, consistent stun is the shotgun. And unfortunately, the shotgun, at least from what I noticed, doesn't have a lot of stun accumulation on it if you're fighting a suit with maneuver armor, or I think later on in this match I actually shoot a suit that has offense system, the E-Freight DS, and it looked like I didn't. It looked like I hit majority of my harpoons. Maybe I hit all of them, but it didn't. Maybe it does stun if all of them hit. You guys have to let me know because I have not had a stun against maneuver armor using this weapon. So there's that. It's really good outside of that, but if they are boosting towards you, it can be kind of iffy to use. Which thankfully, a lot of the generals at this cost don't have maneuver armor, so you don't have to worry about that. The raids, obviously you have to worry about. But yeah, that'll lead into the pros. I guess I want to say for cons. Oh yeah, the balancer thing. For balancers, I'm not sure if I would make this a con because obviously it's not a part of the suit. But for a con, or kind of sorta for this suit, is that it doesn't have balancers. Now the reason I say that is because a whole lot of other gun cannons, I think every gun cannon in this game, except for the, if you want to count the Guncannon detector, except for the Guncannon mass production type, don't have balancers. Or they do have, goddamn, I really fucked that point up, right? They all have balancers except for the Guncannon mass production type and the Guncannon detector. The Guncannon is at 350, the Guncannon 2 is at 400, and there's also some other supports that are like lower, like the Gigan has balancers, which is weird. Yeah, this suit doesn't have balancers, despite having a playstyle that would support it, which is just very, very strange. But hey, before we go on that whole tirade, is that how you say that? Hey, top individual, and second place, 8-3, and 84,000 damage. That's the highest amount. This is the best score I've had with the suit in damage-wise. But yeah, back to what I was saying. It really does bother me when suits like the Guncannon 2, which is almost just purely a sniper, have balancers, but the suit just doesn't, even though it has a gameplay style that really supports that idea of having balancers. Now, I've actually been doing extremely well with this suit without the balancers, but I feel like it'd help it for a lot of people if it had balancers, right? So I do wish it did have balancers, but maybe there's a reason why, which I kind of wish we go into the pros. The pros are the shotgun is a really damn good weapon. I guess I'll repeat myself on it. Each harpoon stuns. They each have a blast radius. It's small, but it's there. It takes 1 to stun, just 1, and you can set up for some kind of combo. And that it also reloads very fast. If you're doing a reload build, like I've been doing, 6.5 seconds, which is pretty damn short. Like I said, you can downswing somebody, combo them, and by the time they get back up, your shotgun should be nearly ready to go. So that is a really, really damn great weapon. And honestly, the damage on this suit can be pretty nice for the Vulcans and the 3-barrel torpedo ×2. The primary weapon, though, I do wish that had a little bit more damage and stun accumulation, to be honest. I've seen some people just really hard use that weapon, and they don't get a lot of damage out of it. But use the other weapons on the suit. Not the primary I like to use for just adding on damage. At least how I've had success with this suit is not using the primary weapon too much. It kind of reminds me of the Zeku Zwei, where the Zeku Zwei has really amazing like sub weapons, but not too terribly good for its cost primary weapon, right? But the weapons on this suit, the sub weapons do pretty good damage. I like that. I already mentioned the shotgun. This thing has another pro for this is that this suit is really, at least for me, has been doing really great on front, like assisting generals on the front line. Like it's so easy to just follow your generals around. Your generals will get a stun, or you'll initiate a stun. You'll get into a checkmate situation against the person you stunned. And man, I haven't used the word checkmate in reference to GBO2 in a while. What I mean by that when I say when you checkmate somebody is that you exhaust their defensive options. So if they have a dodge roll, they use a dodge roll, or they have maneuver armor, and you'll break through that or something like that. Well, yeah, you got them in checkmate. Now you just have to stun them, or just finish them off or something, right? Get them in a combo. So yeah, there's a lot of moments I've had where I'll initiate, or my team will initiate. The general in question will do a dodge roll, or whoever we're fighting, and we'll just do a stun on them, and yeah, we'll just finish them up, because this thing does have really good combo ability. Yeah, if your teammate gets a downswing, or if you get a downswing, you can just pull up your missiles, fire at them really quick, just like that. This suit is really damn good combo-wise, just really consistent in that regard. I really do enjoy playing it and doing that. Now, I just realized I forgot to talk about the skills. Oh no. So let's go over the skills real fast so I can go more into some pros. So for skills, you have radar level 2, scope level 2, data link, frontline support system. So if anybody else has that skill, you'll spawn in faster. I can't remember if they have to be alive or not. You have personnel radar. You can see pilots. You have anti-jamming level 2 and anti-stealth, which will go into the pro because, well, yeah, you can counter jamming in stealth suits. Pretty nice. So this thing gets a level 2, Pixie will be even more relevant. You also get stealth level 2. Now, I can't believe I forgot to talk about the skills earlier, but yeah, you have stealth. I feel like I probably should just leave it at that in terms of why it's a pro, but I'll go over it anyway. You don't show up on people's radar unless they have anti-stealth, and you have level 2, so it will only take, I believe, like 50 or 100 meters off one of those. It's going to be handicapped a little bit, right? So if you wanted to, you can go around and flank somebody with the weapons this thing has, like the shotgun. Yeah, pretty damn good. Or, if you're following a teammate, somebody's going to say, oh, hey, look, it's a 1v1. I'm going to go join this 1v1. Surprise, it's actually a 2v1, and you're about to get fucked, boy. But, yeah, pretty great weapon here, or skill, for this suit to have with the way it plays. The final skill is aquatic shooting level 2. This is what the Aqua GPO1 has, and basically your stun accumulation and your damage is better underwater when you can boost while firing your primary weapon, and it still does kind of damage underwater, but instead of stunning in 6 hits, it's now stunned in 4. It still requires you to do a second burst of your harpoon gun, but at least it's better than 6. Yeah, you will do 20% more damage, so that's good. And yeah, the for pros, like I said, stealth, anti-stealth, and anti-jamming level 2, and the aquatic shooting can be, well, you can do some stuff with that. You can boost while shooting that. I guess that can be helpful in certain situations, right? And yeah, that'll be it for the... Man, I can't believe I forgot about the skills. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, that'll be it for the Aqua Guncannon, or my bad, the Guncannon Aqua TB. Which, does that mean there's a regular Aqua Guncannon somewhere? Is that an MSV? But yeah, I gotta say, this is actually a really fun support. I've been having a lot of fun playing this suit, which is... I don't want to say surprising, but like, I feel like I can. I guess the surprising part is I can feel like I can front line in this suit. If you guys have been paying attention to the 2 matches, I've been playing pretty close to the enemy team. Now, of course, there's some downsides to that, like the raid can get to you perhaps better because of the chaos of a front line. Although that does leave them open to your generals a lot easier, But yeah, I do feel very comfortable playing this at closer ranges, mid-range to close range. But I guess, that's kind of what they want you to do with this suit. But yeah, that shotgun, that melee into the torpedo, you can help your teammates out. I just wish they had balancers, though. I just wish they had balancers. And I feel like that would kind of wrap this suit up nicely for me. This suit, though, like in terms of what I recommend it to people, I don't know. I feel like this suit can be a little bit tough for newer people to get into. I think, like I was talking about earlier, some people will definitely be using that primary weapon all the time and not consider its other sub-weapons in certain situations. And honestly, the first few matches playing this suit, like I said, the first 2 or 3, I had some pretty low damage. But once I start sticking with somebody in the team, like a general, and start just behaving as their fucking stand, like the JoJo stand. Yeah, this suit is pretty pretty fucking good, honestly, playing it. I'm not looking to get top damage. I'm looking to just play that supporting suit, right? Where okay, it's a general. We're about to fight. I'm gonna help you, and I'm gonna scratch your back and you're gonna scratch mine. If a raid shows up, we're gonna double team that raid's ass. We're gonna fucking murder him, and then we're gonna murder the rest of the team with the rest of our team. Again, it feels really nice and aggressive in a way, right? And I do enjoy it. And if you do want a suit like that, then hey, I do recommend you guys roll for it. And that'll be it for this video. I think I might have already said this before. I'm going to say it again just in case. That'll be in this video. If you guys enjoyed it, like, subscribe if you want to. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, tell me how you feel about this suit. And that'll be it. And I will see you guys later. Bye.